is Michelle with Pink and Maine. Thanks for joining us today at the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo at-home event. Today is all about slimline cards. If you've been on social media lately, you have noticed that everyone is making these tall and slender cards. Slimline cards have taken the card making industry by storm, and we're going to be making some today. If you've never made a slimline card, you might be asking, well, what are the measurements? So for me, I wanted to make it simple, and I kind of looked up measurements that different people were using for their slimline cards, and I came up with a pretty general consensus that the easiest way to make them is to take an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. So imagine your 11 inches is down here, and you're going to take that 11-inch side and take 4 inches off of it. So you're stuck and left with an 8.5 by 7 piece of cardstock. You're going to score that down the middle, down the long way, and when you fold it, you've got an 8.5 by 3.5 inch slimline card. You can also make different measurements. I know some people make 9 by 4 slimline cards. It's really up to you. I just find this the easiest. I cut that 4 inches off, and then I've got that cardstock that I can use to help make the card and embellish it or use it for something else. So that is the basic size of a slimline card. Now, slimline cards will fit in number 9 or number 10 envelopes. They're the business size type envelopes. Let's jump right in and talk about these fun new dies that we've come out with at Pink and Maine recently. And they're all about slimline cards. We come out with 6 slimline die sets in this release, and 2 of them are what I call essential dies. They're essential because these are just your basic layering or nesting dies that you can create different layers for your cards. The largest, this is our stitched slimline dies. So these have the stitching around the edge that gives it that nice finished look. So here you're going to get 7 different layering dies, all with that stitched edge, with the largest being that 8.5 by 3.5 inches. These go down in size by 1/2 inch. So your next layer will be 8 by 3 and so on. This is a good essential set. Our second essential set is our layering or layered slimline dies. Now these do not have the stitching edge. They're just going to give you that nice finished edge that a die gives you when you cut through a die cut machine. You get lots of dies here because the largest one starts again at 8.5 by 3.5 inches. But these go down by 1/4 inch. So you actually get like a smaller border around your layers when you use these dies. And you can use these interchangeably with the stitched slimline dies. The next set that we've come out with is our Blessings slimline dies. Now this set creates a frame, and it has an inner scalloped feature. So the inside is scalloped, and it has a stitching edge around the outside. You get the word Autumn Blessings in this really nice script font, and the words have a shadow die as well. So you can create a shadow around the back of the words. You also get 2 block sentiment dies here. One says Hello Friend, and one says Happy Fall. So you could really get lots of uses out of this set. Our next slimline die set is called Beautiful, and you've got 2 layering pieces. They have the stitched edging around them, and they have 2 like regular corner edges and 2 rounded edges, one on each side. And it kind of gives you like a modern or mod look, just a nice stylish look to your cards. You also get 2 corner pieces that you can adorn the corners of your cards with, and you get the words Hello Beautiful. So the words are here, and you also get that shadow die, which is really nice to give a backing to the words if you like. This is our leafy slimline dies, and this is a really beautiful one for fall or autumn cards. It cuts a really pretty frame with these intricate and delicate leaves on the inside, and they're all connected to the frame and connected to each other. Last but not least, we have our Sympathy Slimline dies. Unfortunately, sympathy cards are something we all have to make at one point or another. It's just a part of life, right? So it's always nice to have something ready to go. So this die has a nice scalloped edge piece that it will cut with a stitched inner line. You get quite a few floral elements here. Now these create some fun layered flowers. You've got flower centers, and you also have a couple of leaf pieces. You get the words "with sympathy" in a really pretty font script. And you get that shadow feature, that shadow die again, that you can go behind it. So we're gonna make some cards today. That's the fun part, right? It's getting creative and jumping right in. Let's make some slimline cards. So I have a teal sheet of paper here that I've already cut down to 8.5 by 7 inches. I've scored and folded, so I have my 8.5 by 3.5 inch card. I'm using our Sympathy Slimline set for this card. So here is that scalloped piece that it cut. And as you can see, it's got that stitched edging around it that gives a nice finished look. So when you layer this on your 8.5 by 3.5 inch card, you can see you get a nice little border around it, like so. Now I've already put the sentiment together. So I cut out the "with sympathy" in white cardstock, and I took a darker teal and I cut out that shadow feature. So all I've done is just glue down the sentiment to that shadow feature. And you can see how nice and big that is. It takes up a really good size portion of this card. So you don't need a lot of embellishment with it. You can let the words kind of speak for themselves. But we're going to embellish with some of the flowers that come with that Sympathy die set. Now, I suggest when you get this die out and you're going to use it, just do like I did. Just take a few coordinated colors of cardstocks and papers and cut out a bunch of the floral pieces. Because if you'll notice, some of the dies are going to cut out this really delicate, thin kind of frame of a flower. So we've got a large and a small of that little frame that cuts. And those layer onto the other floral pieces that cut. So you can get a two-tone look to your flowers by layering these edge pieces. You could use them alone or layer them on top of the flowers. You can also layer all the other floral elements on top of each other. Here I've used a smaller flower and I cut it out of like a metallic paper. It's really pretty. And I just layered it on that big flower. So you can really combine and layer these flowers up in lots of different ways and create a variety of looks with the flowers in this With Sympathy set. So we're going to take some of the flowers that we cut out and we're just going to create, just a little bunch of flowers in the corner over here. We just stick in some of our leaves. May also want to add 1 or 2 flowers over to this side here and put some leaves with it just to balance, just to give balance to the card. There, I really like how that's coming together. So now I'm just going to glue all these elements down. And there we have a beautiful sympathy card with some pretty floral elements. Now you know you can use these floral elements for any type of card that you want. Flowers kind of always go with anything, but all we've used is that one die, just that one die and some paper, and we've made a really pretty card. For our next card, we're going to use that Blessings Slimline die set. So as you can see here, it cuts, the outer piece cuts this frame with that inner scallop. So it gives a nice, unique look just to kind of frame your card and your artwork in your card. So I'm gonna glue that frame down first. There we go. So I have some kind of light craft cardstock that I made my card base with. Again, the card base is 8.5 inches by 3.5 inches. I've taken the words Autumn Blessings from that Blessings die set, and I've already assembled the words on top of their shadow feature. And I use this really pretty gold sparkle sheets. And we call our glitter cardstock sparkle sheets at Pink and Main. But it's a really pretty gold, and it has little flecks of other colors that you can see. It's really pretty. It looks really nice for fall and autumn cards. And we also have a new stamp set called Need to Venti. And it has some nice size mugs of warm drinks. If you're not a coffee drinker, maybe it's hot cocoa. If you are a coffee drinker, we've got that. So I'm gonna embellish those here on the side. So all I've done is I've taken the stamp sets and I've stamped and colored them with Copic markers, and I used the coordinating dies to cut them out. So now we're just going to glue these pieces down. Okay, so here we have our Autumn Blessings card. We've used that Blessings die, the frame, and the words. Now you could use the frame by itself and make a totally different themed card. You can use it for anything really. And I've added these adorable mugs, and I popped the second one up with a little foam tape adhesive just to give it some dimension. And there you go. It's pretty simple and quick, but it makes a really nice card. So for our next card, I've already gone ahead and fixed a few of the pieces that we're going to use. We are using the beautiful die set for the Slimline dies, and this is how that Hello Beautiful cuts. So look at that really pretty font with the hello there. Now the hello, the H and the O are connected to the beautiful, so you could cut it out of one color if you like. But what I did is I just cut it out of the green and the orange, and I can use it twice. I kind of make it fall theme, even though you could use this with hot pink and teal blue and different colors and get a totally different look for any time of the year. But I've cut it out of some really pretty orange and green sparkle sheets. So our green is called the Park, and the orange is called Construction, like a construction cone. But I've cut those out, and I've already layered them on that shadow feature that comes with the die set. So these are the two layering pieces that come with the beautiful Slimline dies, and I'm just going to adhere these to the card. Okay, so now you can see how these layers fit on an 8.5 by 3.5 inch Slimline card. You still get a nice border around them, and then they layer together, or you can use them individually if you just want a one color layer. I've taken the smaller corner piece die and I've layered with I've simply glued the green on top of a craft color, the same color that I used to cut out the shadow feature behind the Hello Beautiful. And I'm just going to adorn the corners with these. The last thing I'm going to add to this really pretty card is a sunflower from our new Sunny Greetings stamp set. This Sunny Greetings is a really big 6 by 8 inch stamp set that has some beautiful sunflowers. So I want to add one of those really pretty sunflowers to this card because, like I said, I'm just making it kind of a fall themed card, but you could really use it for any time of the year. Just change the stamped image that you use, change the colors. It's really up to you. But here's a Hello Beautiful slimline card. And most of what we used is just that beautiful slimline dies. We've used the wording, the layering pieces, and the corner pieces, all from that die set. And the only thing I've added is one stamped and colored image. And there you have a beautiful card. The last card we're going to make uses two of our die sets. I've got this Happy Fall cut out of our gold sparkle sheets, and I've just cut a little teal rectangle to fit behind it because I'm just using that negative space and I want that teal to show through. And the Happy Fall here is from the Blessings slimline die. And then I've taken our Leafy slimline die and I've cut it out of a piece of white cardstock that I just blended some inks with our ergonomic blender brush. I just took and blended some different ink colors. You can see the different colors, just a soft gradient of changing colors there over the white cardstock, and then I cut it out. And so I've got these beautiful ombre looking leaves from this die. And doesn't that just make a beautiful card? So again, I've got my craft cardstock or brown cardstock that I've cut 8.5 by 7 to get my 8.5 by 3.5 inch card. And I'm just going to glue down this piece from the Leafy die. And what I recommend for this die is like a liquid adhesive that has a really thin nozzle there, so you can get the glue in the small areas of this die. But don't worry about getting every single portion of these leaves glued down. If you just get a little glue here and there, they're going to stick nicely. I'm just rubbing off some of my excess glue. It will dry clear anyway, but there we go. You can also use adhesive, double-sided adhesive sheets, and you can put it on your cardstock before you die cut the cards so that you just peel it off kind of like a sticker. So look, I've already got, I mean, this is just beautiful by itself. You could put our Autumn Blessings sentiment on here. You could do lots of stuff. So now I'm just going to glue my sentiment piece onto that teal backing. And there we have very pretty fall card. Oh, I love this. I think the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of our glossy dots. So these are our rose gold glossy dots, and I'm just going to add a few just for a little bit of shiny embellishment here and there on this card. There, just to add a tiny bit of shine to this card. So I hope you've enjoyed creating some beautiful slimline cards with me today. You'll want to head over to pinkandmane.com and check out our brand new 6 sets of slimline dies. They'll have you creating slimline cards in no time that you can send to your loved ones. We have a code for you to use that could save 15% on our entire site, including our brand new slimline dies. And that code is Slimline, one word, lowercase, Slimline. So use Slimline on our website, pinkandmane.com, and you'll save 15%. Thanks so much for joining us today. I hope you've had a good time and you've learned all about slimline cards and you're ready to jump in and make some for yourself. Until next time, my friends, keep living the creative life.